Hello children, welcome back. It's Monday evening, which means it's isometric day. And before we get into the actual isometric workout, I was going to go over the setup for the isometric day. And if you watched the speed day setup, it's very simple. It's actually easier than isometric setups, easier than speed day setup. First and foremost, you have to anchor your table down. What I do is I tie my table to the wall. I got some anchors there, and so I got anchors bedded into the wall. Boom, boom, boom. I got 2 nylon straps, and they're that kind with the buckle on them, so you can easily adjust them. You can just push this button and loosen it, or you can tighten it. So if I got to move the table, it's real simple. Don't forget, this is all just out of the way. All right, that's easy. It's not the ratchet kind. If you're in a public gym, and I see a lot of people bringing their arm wrestling table to a public gym, and the gym probably frowns on you drilling holes in the floor and anchoring your table down, but what you could do is drop some 45-pound plates on the base of your table. If you don't anchor your table down, you're not able to wedge against it, and you can't lift a lot of weight. So it'd be like, you'd be very unstable. 2 45-pound plates should anchor the table fine for most females. 4 45-pound plates should handle just about every guy. Super heavyweights, maybe you want to do 6 plates. That's an awful lot of weight. I don't think it's necessary, but surely 6 plate. You should never need more than 6 plates. Unless you are one of those Australians that lift so much weight, so much more weight than everybody else, you probably need 10 plates. So 6 plates should be everybody except Australians, in which case you probably need 10. All right, get the table anchored. That's very important. Then the key part of isometrics is, let me get over here and let's get this view up. All right, so as you can see, I got a single pulley system, and you see that anchor right there in the ceiling? That is so we can put our hard stop in our weight. So let's see if I got that angled right. So like I said, it's just a normal single pulley pin stack. You guys are probably using a lat row machine, and you just set your table at the end of the seated row machine. Just a chain. I can't see the viewfinder. Okay, so we need a chain, and it's adjustable, and that gives you a hard stop to pull against. It's a pretty simple matter. Link that up right there, and link up our chain. So at this point, let me see if I can move this down a little bit. I've only got 10 pounds on it. So now, when you pull on the strap hooked to the pulley, that chain goes tight. Okay? So, if I pull on this hook, I'm lifting the 10 pounds of weight on the chain, but in order to keep this chain tight, you got to apply more than the 10 pounds of force. Because if you have just 10 pounds of force, the chain slacks, because the chain, for our intents and purposes, is infinitely rigid. You could use another nylon strap as your isometric weight. The thing is nylon straps have just enough stretch into them. You can't hardly feel it in your hands, but you will definitely feel it when the weights get up. It's a lot easier to hold a nylon strap tight than a chain tight, just because it takes less overforce. So for instance, 10 pounds on the weight stack, to keep a nylon strap tight might require 2% extra weight. So 10.2 pounds might keep a nylon strap tight with 10 on the weight. The chain probably requires I'm just guessing 6 to 10%. So it probably requires 10.6 to 11 pounds. You definitely notice it if you swap the hard stop chain for a strap. And the reasons why we're doing isometrics is it allows you to train at almost near maximum force. Very, very heavy weights. There's no eccentric movement, so I'm going to say you get zero soreness from isometrics. I get zero soreness from it. The vast majority of people will not get sore from doing isometrics. As soon as I go out there and claim you can do isometrics without getting sore, people start emailing me and say, I get sore from isometrics. I'm like, well, okay, you know, you're rare, but maybe that's possible. Isometrics have about a 10 degree carryover, so if you set your isometric up vertical, you get some benefit at like -5 and 5 degrees. So, and the beauty about isometrics is you can train, you can set it up so where you're developing your isometric at vertical, at the pin. You can go through all the whole range of motion, say on side pressure, or even if it was a bicep curl, you could set the isometric up at any weight you wanted, at any position where it would stick. A lot of people get a sticking point right here in the bicep curl. Set your isometric up right there. Do your normal curls, set your isometric up right there. It allows you to target the muscles at that particular angle, and you get about a 10 degree carryover. No soreness because there's no eccentric motion. Near maximum weights. You can get a loss of coordination if you do a lot of isometrics, just because you're used to stacking it up in there. But you do enough other full range of motion. That's usually not a big concern. Isometrics are really good for arm wrestling because if you think about it, you might start here, but at the end of the match, you got a slight wrist curl. You curl this over, but this whole part of your chain is basically static from that point on. As you lean over, or even as you come back, your arm, for the most part, doesn't really move a lot. It's not like you use the full range of motion when you're arm wrestling in your arm. So isometrics should definitely be a big part of your routine. Without the eccentric motion, you don't get a lot of muscle growth. So bodybuilders are not going to want to do this. You're trying to gain weight, you're not going to want isometrics. You're trying to get very, very strong and maintain a low weight class, isometrics would be ideal. Because the last thing you want to do is start building lots and lots of muscle mass that you then have to shed off or bump up a weight class if you're actually trying to maintain a lower weight class. Let's see. There's probably other benefits. If I missed them, hit them up in the comments and I'll call you out on the comments video. The only other thing I'm going to do is show you. So I use nylon straps for attaching my handles. You could use chain and click the chains at different positions. I like the nylon straps because the handles have different length tabs to them and everything else. So it's hard to get the table set up. With my table anchored on the nylon straps, I can move the table a few inches if I have to very easily. I can also adjust the handle. The only thing you got to really learn with the nylon straps is how to tie that knot. And I'm going to bring this up just a little closer. I'm only aware of, easy there, fella. I'm only aware of two knots that are routinely tied in flat straps. One's called the water knot, which is used for tying two nylon straps together. And the other one is that knot cowboys use when they're strapping their saddles on their horses. I don't know what that knot's called. So let's just call it the cowboy tying the saddle onto his horse knot. Alright, run the strap through the carabiner, overhand. Bring the strap around the front of the carabiner to the back again. Now it's going to come back through the carabiner one more time. Now, at this point, for us, we're going to pull this loop through. If you're actually tying your saddle onto your horse, if you're actually a cowboy tying the saddle onto your horse, you wouldn't leave this loop. You'd pull the strap all the way through. But we leave the loop right here because in order to untie it, all I have to do is pull this loose end and the knot comes undone. It's very simple. So let's just tie that up again. You will love this because hooking your stuff up with chains, although it looks cool, they're heavy and they make a lot of noise and they're harsh. And the nylon strap, a chain gives you, like this chain probably gives me a 1-inch increment adjustment. The strap gives me as fine of adjustment as I want. I'm just going to pull that loop way up, and then just so the video looks a little better, I'm just going to take a lot of this loose stuff and tie it up. Let's see. Anchor the table down, that's more important. Use a chain for your isometric stop. Oh, but Todd, Uncle Todd, I don't need a chain. I can just hold the weight in a position. And that's what people call static training. Well, that's what arm wrestlers call static training. I am specifically not talking about static training. We are talking about isometrics as if you were out studying a powerlifting website. Here's the deal with static training, where you grab a weight. Let's say I grab a weight and there's no hard stop, and I hold it in this position. Since I'm not contracting against a hard stop, I'm just holding it there. Basically what I'm really doing is slowly letting it go. I'm trying to hold it in this plane. If there's a hard stop, I can overcontract, and the whole concentric motion's engaged. But if I'm trying to hold it in one position, you have to relax the concentric motion in order to not bring it this far anymore. So at this point, you're kind of either balancing it between plus or minus negative, or more likely when you start getting tired, you're slowly letting it go, at which point it's a negative. I don't train negatives. Some bodybuilders swear by them, some powerlifters swear by them. You do your own research. Leave us messages in the comments if you think negatives are where it's at. But I don't do them. I find them making me sore, and I don't want to lose slowly. I would rather win slowly. Okay. Anyway, so got your carabiner tied, got your chain in place. At this point, it's just a matter of hooking your wrist wrench to it, or any handle. Isometrics work on any handle. And then you pull against the chain, hold the chain tight. Oh! Weights and time. I've held isometrics for as long as a 20 count. I don't like being in the gym that long. I like 5 counts, 5 to 10 counts. I like to try to do almost maximum weight. So if my PR for a particular exercise is 100 pounds, I try to do isometrics in the 80 to 90 pound range if I can. Other than that, I can't think of anything else to tell you. If there's anything I missed, send me a comment. All you people watching, please subscribe. You too, Grandma. I need you subscribing.